Hi guys, welcome to the next section. In this section, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics related to user experience design. One that most people, if you'll talk to, don't have too much experience in and tend to be a little bit scared of. It's called user research, and I think that leveraged properly, this will help you build better products and understand your users better. So I want to tell you a short little story. This picture is a picture of me when I was a little kid. You can tell I'm a little bit frustrated about something. And the story behind this is kind of interesting. I had just been playing in the kitchen on Halloween and made a huge mess of everything. So I took the flour out of the cabinets, I poured everything on the floor, and I made a mess with a bunch of the kitchen utensils and the pots and pans and everything. And then right at this moment, I'm getting yelled at by one of my parents, and then the other one thought it was kind of funny, so they took my photo. And I think that this is a pretty good analogy for understanding user research. Right at this moment, I don't remember it too well, but I do remember having a conversation with my parents about why. Like why I was getting in trouble. I didn't know you couldn't do that. So that question of why is going to be a repeating theme throughout this section. Because in this case, I didn't know that I shouldn't be doing something, or I didn't know what I should be doing. My question of why was about discovery and about figuring out what the boundaries were of this situation that I was in. So through this question of why and in interacting with my parents at the time, I was able to figure out or realize that maybe I shouldn't be making a giant mess in the kitchen that they would have to later clean up. And simply by asking the question of why, and then internalizing it and trying to understand it, I was able to avoid making that same mistake in the future. So I was able to optimize my own actions in the real world by simply having a conversation with my parents about why. So while you're working through the next section, try to keep this lesson and this theme in mind. Is that while you're building a web app or designing screens or working in some way on user experience, keep in mind that you can always ask why about something and then repeat the process over again and try again. Cool. So now that you got the intro story, let's talk a little bit about our goals for the section. First off, I'll be giving you an overview of user research and why it's important. Next, I'll be giving you a description and an overview of each of the user research tools that are involved with the process. So user research is kind of a complex thing, and you'll need a number of tools in your tool belt in order to execute it properly. So next, after that, I'll then walk you through some real-life examples that I've worked on while working with Udemy. So you'll get to see kind of an inside look on how a user research professional approaches problems within a tech company. And then finally, I'll give you a framework and kind of a visual model so that as you approach any user research project or as you're trying to optimize a tool or understand what to do next, it will give you a framework for approaching it. You'll be able to enter into a problem. You'll be able to recognize where you are in this mental model or this framework, and then it will give you clues as to what tools you should be using and what types of activities you should be doing to learn from your users. Okay, cool. So what is user research anyway? User research is any kind of interaction with users where the goal is to learn how to improve your product offering. Now, pay particular attention to that word learn. Unlike some of the other steps described in this course, this one isn't about actually improving your product or a screen or a feature. It's only about learning what to improve or how to improve it. So user research does occur at various stages of a project. It occurs continuously, and you'll be using many different forms to conduct it, as well as using a handful of tools and methods to help you gain user insights or feedback that might become useful later. Next, user research does help us to understand how other people live their lives so that we can respond more effectively to their needs with informed and inspired design solutions. User research also helps us to avoid our own biases. Because we frequently have to create designs for people who aren't like us, user research is a really good gut check. As we're interacting with users or customers that might share a different point of view than us, it's really helpful to gain their insights or view onto approaching a problem in a different way. So sit back, stay with us for a few more lectures, and we hope you enjoy this section on user research. Cheers.